Hi, this is Coralla at CorallaFicklin.com. Welcome, Network, WYLCOME, network.com. And if you go into our network, you'll see all the different .coms, all the different websites we have available. Okay, so I want to do something with you that I normally used to do with my students when I used to teach back in the day. Okay, because I think when you're learning grammar, especially the grammar of another language, even your own grammar, but especially the language of another, the grammar of another language, you have to learn it on many different levels. But one level, which in my opinion is the easiest level, is to know, to memorize, if you choose to use the word memorize, to memorize certain basic information that you have to know, and you have to know like that. Okay, so what I want to do on this video, because I want to do it on a video versus, because I have a lot of audio, but I want to do it on a video versus an audio, because I want to show you that you should be able to do this by memory. If I do it on the audio, you don't know that if I have a piece of paper in front of me. Now I do have a piece of paper. I'm going to hold it up. I don't know if you can read it or not, but this piece of paper only reminds me of the different verb tenses that I'm going to do. They do not have the verb, nor do they have the different verb tenses all written down. So when I'm looking over, I'm only looking to say, oh, did I forget a verb tense? I'm going to use the verb to talk as an example. The reason I'm going to use the verb to the reason I'm using the verb to talk is that it's an irregular verb. Because before you know it in any other tense, any other verb, you have to know the regular, the rule. Okay. So what I'm going to do in front of you, and this is all from memory, is, and this is what you should be able to do every day until you get it. Now, an irregular verb is different, because an irregular verb is only for that particular verb. But a regular verb is for what? 75, 85, whatever, how many verbs fall inside the regular. Okay, so I'm going to give you all the verb tenses. So let me look at it. I don't think I need to look at it. Let's see. We're talking about the present indicative. We're talking about the simple past in the affirmative as well as the negative. We're talking about the simple future. We're talking about the simple conditional. Now, those are the simple, I call those the simple tenses. Then you talk about the compound tenses, the progressive tenses, the perfect tenses, and then the present progressive tenses. So let's start. The verb is to talk. So it's I, you, we, they talk. He, she, it talks. Okay. You don't have to worry about the negative, because the verb form doesn't change. Let's look at the simple past tense. I, you, we, they, he, she, it talked. And it ends in ed. But notice I didn't say talked, I said talked. But you do have to worry about the negative, so let's do the negative. I, you, we, they, he, she, it did not talk. No ed. All right, let's look at the future. I, you, we, they, he, she, it will talk. You don't have to worry about the negative because the form remains the same. Conditional, I, you, we, they, he, she, it would talk. The negative for will is I will not. I, you, we, they, he, she, it will not. But you also have the contraction won't. And I, you, we, they, he, she, it would not talk, of course. And you also have the contraction wouldn't. All right, let's look at the progressive tenses. I, I am, you, we, no, he, she, it is, you, we, they, oh good heavens, I'm blanking right now. Let me do it again. I am, you, we, they are, he, she, it is. I just blanked, but that's normal. That's why I'm keeping it on the tape, because it's normal. Are talking, ing, the past tense. I, you, we, they, I, he, she, it was, you, we, they were talking. Blanking a little bit because you're talking about the What are you talking about? You're talking about the verb to be, and there's a little tricky because I'm putting the I with the you, we, they, and that's a little bit tricky. Okay, so let's do it again. It's I, you, we, they, no, I, he, she, it. That's why it's tricky. I, he, she, it was, you, we, they were talking. So let's look at, so that was the present progressive, past progressive. Let's look at the future progressive. Okay, so it's I, you, we, they, he, she, it will be talking. Now let's look at the conditional progressive. I, you, we, they, he, she, it would be talking. A little bit slow, but that's normal. That's why I'm showing to you on a video so that you can see how even someone who's been doing it for decades can sometimes stumble, but it's normal. So that's the progressive. Let's look at the perfect tenses. So it's I, you, we, they have, he, she, it has talked. So the form that you use in the perfect tense is the same form that you use in the simple past, but that's only because it's a regular verb. If it's irregular, as they say in English, all bets are off. You have to memorize. Okay, so let's look at the past. So it's I, you, we, they, he, she, it had talked. Let's look at the future. Perfect. I, you, we, they, he, she, it will have talked. Let's look at the conditional perfect. I, you, we, they, he, she, it would have talked. So really, with the verb to talk, when you're talking about the perfect tense, it goes back, the form goes back to the simple past tense. Now, let's look at the progressive perfect tenses. That's what it's called. Perfect progressive tenses. Now, you don't use it that much in English, but there might be an occasion. So, let's do it. So, it's I, you, we, they have been talking. He, she, it has been talking. And this is how you know it. When you see perfect and you're talking about verbs and you're talking about auxiliary, you're always talking about the verb to have. Okay. When you see progressive and you're talking auxiliary, you always think about the verb to be. So a perfect progressive would be first the verb to have or has, depending on the tense, of course, and then the progressive tense. Let me see how much time I have. I only have a little bit more time, but I'm going to do this. Let's look at let me see, that was the present perfect progressive. The past perfect progressive would be I, you, we, they, he, she, it had been talking. Future progressive, I, you, we, they, he, she, it will have talked. And the conditional I, you, we, they, he, she, it would, no, let me go back because I made a mistake. Future perfect progressive, I, you, we, they, he, she, it will have been talking. Conditional I, you, we, they, he, she, it would have been talking. You should be able to do this. Whether you stumble in it like I did, whether you begin to have trouble, and don't stop, you keep going. And if you make a mistake, I'm even sweating a little bit. If you make a mistake, you keep going. That's why I'm showing you this video as is. I'm not doing it 1,000 times. This video is as is. And that's what you should be able to do with all your verbs. Now, I'm doing it with a regular because I want to show you, but even with an irregular verb, you can. You should be able to do it. Corrala Ficklin at corralaficklin.com.